Guys, this is James Byrne with After Dark Graphics, information architect in business over 30 years, and I'm going to go ahead and take you through how to use Shopify Debut theme. Let's go. Today we're going to show you how to use the Debut Shopify theme. This is the new theme, the 2.0, with the updated CSS on it. If you have an old version of Debut Shopify theme, it's probably complaining that you need to update your theme.css in the back of your code. If you just deal with the front of your website and you don't touch the code in the back, you're probably not seeing that. So you're probably not getting any errors, but if there's a developer helping you, the Shopify ecosystem is upgraded their back end, and so they're going to end up updating some code in the actual theme itself. So before you do decide to upgrade your theme, you're going to want to contact an expert like us, AfterDarkGraphics.com, or you're going to want to reach out to the expert network on Shopify. Basically what they've done is they've updated some pieces of the different theme code. If you have a lot of customizations, then you're going to want to take into consideration those customizations and all your apps and everything before you do the upgrade. So that's another video. We appreciate if you share or like or subscribe, and if you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to fill out the comments below. And then also there is going to be some links in the description below, and they are affiliate links. I do get a little piece of the pie if you decide to sign up for Shopify trial or any of the other referring URL links that are in the description below. Okay, here we go. So we're going to assume that you either signed up for Shopify or you signed up through my trial, and you ended up installing and going through all that wonderful process of getting a trial store done. Just note that you do have 14 days to try it out for free, and if you don't like it, you can turn it off. A lot of the time what happens is new merchants will get into the system and they won't know how to use it. They get a little frustrated, they get busy, and then they don't use it. So I'll give you some pros about Shopify. One is that you can easily add products and collections, which are categories, and then you can place orders. You don't have to use your own merchant account because Shopify provides it. If you want to provide your own merchant account, it's going to cost you even more money. So you're going to want to look at shopify.com/pricing and look at the pricing page and understand what the fees are involved there. Shopify also has a point-of-sale system. That's not going to be covered in this video either, but you can add a point-of-sale system if you are interested in doing that and heading down that road. Once your store is completed, just contact us and we will get you in contact with the correct people over there to get that started. You have to have the app installed as well as the service for the point-of-sale system. So for now, we're just going to go through these options here. Shopify is great for, and it has built-in, U.S. Postal Service and things like that. If you want to add to the functionality of shipping or add to the functionality of the store in any way, usually you need apps to do that. In some cases, you're going to have to contact Shopify support and have them add a feature for you or upgrade your account. Now, in some cases, they're going to say that you need to upgrade your account to the next plan. So say, for instance, you're signed up for the $29 plan, and then they're telling you to upgrade to the $79 plan for something that they would usually add just a few dollars to your monthly bill. And I'll give you for an example. So if you wanted to add UPS as one of the carriers to your plan, they're basically telling you need to upgrade to $79. Well, you don't need to do that. You just need to contact us or Shopify and contact their department and say, hey, listen, I want to add third-party shipping rates to my existing $29 account, and then they'll just charge you $20 more a month, so you don't have to upgrade to that full $79. So there, you save some money. That's your little tip for the day. All right, so now we're going to get in here. When you first install this, you see this wonderful screen. I tinkered around with a couple things before I got on here. So this is an older development store. I did put the new Debut Shopify theme on here. And how I did that was I just went to online store, and it already has Debut installed. So if you scroll down here, you'll see some other themes that I installed. And the way that I did that is I just went to the free themes page. I clicked on Explore Free Themes, and then all these free themes here you can use for free through Shopify. So they are already updated to the latest version, the 2.0. Notice how this one says that it's live. Okay, so Shopify allows you to have your store password protected so nobody can see it until you're ready to launch. So in this case, what I ended up doing in order to check the speed of Shopify Debut was I removed the password protection. So I'll show you how to do that in a second. But I went ahead and just selected Debut, and then you do it here, and then you select Add to Theme Library, and then it'll install for you. Once it installs, it's going to put it down here in this section. So let me just install another one that I didn't do. Let me put Boundless. So do this, Add to Theme Library. This is going to install, and you'll notice it's going to start loading Boundless. Well, I don't have it as my active theme. Right now, this is the active one that's working on Shopify, right? So say, for instance, this was a developed store, and I wanted to test out a different theme. I can go ahead and install it, not activate it, and test it out. So I can get in here and do a little preview and see how my store is going to look with this theme. Or I can go Actions, Preview, and see how it's going to look with that theme. Now just note that if you did any kind of customizations here on this Customize, that they are not going to be available inside of here, because each one of these is a different customization for that particular theme. So if I added a banner slider and added all kinds of graphics to my home page and made it look all pretty and everything, if I click on Customize here, I'm not going to see those updates, nor will I see those same updates if I go ahead and preview this page. So I'll give you, for instance, I click Actions, I'll click Preview, and this is how my site looks right now for this theme, right? I got no customization, no slideshow, nothing, okay? So if I go ahead and go up to Debut and I do Actions, same thing, I'll do View. I don't have a slideshow in here or anything active, right? So, because I haven't added anything yet. So once I do add something here, I'm not going to be able to see it on the other themes unless I add them directly to that particular theme, okay? So let's get into this. First thing I like to do when I first get into these stores is go straight to the settings page. And before I start adding products or testing out anything else, I like to go through and configure all these options. Now you're not going to be able to configure payments because you don't have an active, you may be in the trial or you may not be in a paid plan right now. So you're not going to activate that. Once you're ready to sign up for a plan, you'll click on Payments, and then you'll activate the Shopify Payments. The same thing with the checkout and other things. You can tinker around with some of the look and feel, but you're not going to be working on any of the back payments. And you also have billing over here as well. So General, if I click on General, I'm just going to go through. Here's my store name, Living La Isla Loca. It's an old store. You can call it whatever you want. Legal name of the company, you're going to want to put your phone number, your address, city, state, whatever country you're in, zip code, and then all the standard information. Now, if you look down here, you have edit order ID format, right? So you can't change the order for the numbers in Shopify. So when you start using this, it's going to start off with 1001. So if you have QuickBooks going or another system already in place and you're taking orders, and say your QuickBooks order or your other accounting software order is like 5007, you can't put 5008 in here to start. So you can either put a prefix in here so that you know that this is going to be a Shopify order. So say this is my new store and I know it's Living La Isla Loca. I'll just put LIV, or you can put SHPY so that you know it's a Shopify order, and see how it's going to do SHPY-1000. Or I can put a hyphen there, and that would make it a little bit easier. Or I can put a suffix on the end. That's XHPY. That's for Shopify. I don't have to put that on there, but that lets me know that any orders that come in from the store that are 1001-SHPY is Shopify, right? So it either is going to prefix, put them in the front, or it's going to do the suffix and put them at the end. All right. So if I were to import this order now into my QuickBooks, it would not mess up any of my other orders or my invoicing system on my QuickBooks or on my tax program. So some people like to leave it with the little pound sign. I recommend making sure that you put an indicator of Shopify or something that lets you know what these are going to be called. So I'm just going to leave this with a dash mark here for now. US dollars, because I'm in the United States. I'm going to go ahead and select Save. Phone number can't be blank, so it's going to start complaining to me about some things in here. So 6197, if you want to call it, feel free. All right. So I didn't put anything in legal name business. I'll put it in living. Okay, living Loca. Okay, so let's save that. Each time you make a change, make sure you save it. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up here and click on this arrow, or you can click on Settings to come back into this page. If I click on payments now, eventually, say you make your changes and then you go onto the front end of the website and you refresh and you don't see them, don't go back into the admin and try to make another change and refresh it. Just wait 30 seconds, a minute or two, and then refresh the page, and then you'll see whatever changes you need to see. So just give it a little time. So Shopify payments, they're going to charge you, switch to Shopify payments, 2.9%, 30 cents a transaction. Activate Shopify payments. We're not going to do that in this tutorial, but that's how you would start the plan. You can also add your express checkout. You can put Amazon Pay on here, third-party providers, alternate methods, manual payment methods. So you can read about all this stuff in the how-tos and on the forums and stuff, community serve, as well as go to the help section. Okay, so now this is one thing that I also do is manually capture payments for orders. So for new stores, I always tell them to make this the setting, manually capture payments. And why am I saying that is instead of having it automatically do it. So when you first have a new store, you may have some unscrupulous people out there that are actually trying to use your store to process credit cards and things. And so Shopify is pretty smart about showing you fraudulent orders. So in the event their credit card comes through, you'll be able to click on an order, and then you'll see that an order came in. And if you scroll down on the right-hand side of that order, you'll see a little fraud suite, and it'll say whether it's potentially fraud or not. It's not a perfect system, so you're definitely going to want to set it to manual payments for a while. That just means that when you get an order, you'll see the order itself, and then you'll decide whether or not you want to capture those funds and process the order. So if you are on the order page, there's a little button that'll say capture funds. You click on that, and then that'll capture the funds inside Shopify, and then it'll go ahead and disperse the funds to you in several business days after they process the transaction. So in the meantime, you could ship out the product, and then you can add the tracking number and do all those fun things. Once you feel comfortable enough and you feel that those orders are coming in or it's too much work for you, come back in here. So you go to settings, and then you're going to go into payments, right? And then you're going to scroll down, and you can click on automatically capture payments for orders. Once you do that, you're going to select save. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this at manual because I don't want to mess with that right now. And then development stores can only process test payments. Activate test payment provider. So if you have somebody doing development for you like us, right, the development store can actually go past that 14-day trial period. So you can either A, sign up for the trial, right, and then use the trial for 14 days, and then at which time you can either cancel or you could sign up for a plan, or you can contact us directly and we can set up a development store and then give you access to it so you get in there and tinker around with it. And then when you're ready to go live, we would transfer it to you, and then you would sign up for Shopify payments and all that fun stuff. And just note that development stores are unable to add paid apps. So if you decide that you want some functionality that one of the paid apps does, we won't be able to sign up for the subscription services or add those. So you're going to want to have that site live or actually under your trial. Okay, so we're going to go back. Next thing, we're going to look at checkout. So accounts are disabled. So customer accounts are disabled. That's kind of stupid. We're going to put them optional. Okay. You also have where you can require them. Don't really recommend that. I'd say optional. Enable a multi-pass login. Multi-pass if you want to integrate with an existing customer account system. Just disregard that for now. We're going to scroll down some more. To check out, customers can check out using either their phone number or email. This is actually pretty smart to do this because then they can get SMS messages. You don't have to mess around with that, right? So people are used to getting SMS messages from orders. So just leave that selected. And if you want them to check out with their email, you can, but you're going to limit yourself from people ordering from your store. Okay, so now let's go down to the receive payment shipping updates. Customers can choose to add phone number or email or receive shipping updates after they complete their order. Yes, of course I'm going to do that. And then download the Shop app from their order status page, whatever they want. Shop app is something that Shopify has where they can download and they can actually track their own orders. And if they order from a bunch of different Shopify sites, they can track all that stuff in their own app. We're going to save this just for the hell of it. Scroll down. Okay, form options. Require last name only. No. Require first and last name. There we go. Company name is hidden. We can make that optional. So if you just think you're going to have people, companies ordering from your website, you can put that in there as an optional item. Address line 2, leave that optional because you have all kinds of people, departments, and units. Shipping address, for a phone number. It depends on what kind of store you're going to have. Most of the time you could leave that hidden. I'm going to leave it hidden for now. tipping. So this is kind of cool. So say for instance you have a delivery service or some kind of other service where you're dropping off product. You can actually, or someone's going to tip you at the checkout. You can enable this, and then you can set up the shipping, right? Show tip options for all customers, and then you can give them the options here, 5, 10, 20, whatever, right? So I'm going to turn that off. While the customer is checking out, use the shipping address as the billing address by default. Just leave that by default. And then this is enable address auto completion. This is going to allow it to start looking up suggested addresses. I always turn that on. It's always a nice feature. People are used to starting to type things in, and you look like a bigger company, okay? After an order has been paid, automatically fulfill orders line items. Now, if you set this here, you're going to want to have a fulfillment service that's going to fulfill your orders, right? So if you do that, that means that you have a shipping company or somebody that's going to process the orders, and they're going to go through and do the tracking numbers and orders and everything. Automatically fulfill only gift cards. So gift cards, if someone purchases a gift card on your site, you can have it where it automatically sends them an email and processes and fulfills the gift cards. I just set this to do not automatically fill any order line items just to make your life a lot easier, so you have a little more control over your store once you get a little more comfortable and you feel like you can allow some of these automated processes. Come back in here and deselect or select those and test those out. After an order has been fulfilled and paid, automatically archive the order. Yeah, leave that selected. You don't want to have a bunch of orders in your list, and every time you start looking at your orders, you're going to be have a bunch of the completed orders in there, and it's just going to take up all your space. Okay. Additional scripts. So sometimes some of these apps will actually tell you to put some stuff into the additional scripts. It will also always denote that. And we're on the checkout page, and a couple of them that do this are like Yotpo reviews. If you're trying to track conversions, or Google Tag Manager, things like that. If you're trying to track those kinds of things. Okay. Email marketing, show sign up option at checkout, pre-select the sign. Some people select this. It's kind of annoying for them to have to deselect it, so leave that deselected. And that means that it's going to be a checkbox on the page. Now all this does is show sign up option at checkout. All this really does, since you're not connected to any kind of newsletter program like MailChimp or MailerLite or Constant Contact or Vertical Response or anything else, all this does is put a notification in the customer. So on the customers, if I click on customers, I would see that it says email marketing, and then it's like approved or subscribed, and you're allowed to actually send emails to those people. So if you're getting all these customers in here and you export them and you have a column that says that you're allowed to email to them, you can import that into MailChimp or your other email program, and then you can send them e-blasts. But it doesn't do anything. All it does is it puts a notification next to the customer, letting you know that it is okay to email them, right? And promotions, etc. Abandoned cart checkouts. Leave this selected. Automatically send abandoned cart checkout emails. That's if they go through and they start ordering from your website, and then they either get distracted and they leave, or never fulfill the actual order, or they close out the window and they don't come back. But this only works in the event that they are putting in their information, so they have to put their email in and start the checkout process in order to get those abandoned cart emails. 10 hours is recommended. There are other apps and things that will take over and automate this process a little bit better, like Klaviyo, marketing systems, and other apps that are really cool that will do this for you. So in that case, you would end up turning this off and let the app do all the work. Excuse me. Checkout language. So this checkout language, it says source checkout page is displayed in English. You can click on this and you can go ahead and change the language there. I'm not going to do that for this tutorial. Okay, so now we've got the checkout, so we're going to go back. So now we got shipping and delivery. Well, by default, what's going to happen here is you have these rates, and you have for domestic, and this is all pre-selected through Shopify. Shopify creates these profiles, these shipping profiles, so it allows you to ship a certain amount of products one way and another amount of products another way. For instance, I have products that I only have for pickup, and then I have other products that are for shipping. So I would create a profile called pickup, and then I would add products in there. And then I would have manage rates for my shipping, and I would have products, and everything else that's not covered in this profile would be added to that profile. Okay. Local delivery, if I was to actually have delivery on here, I could manage this and turn this on. You could play around with that if you want. Local pickup, the same thing, so I could manage that. I'm not going to do that for this video. If you do, this does is give the shipping options for USPS, the sizing for a basic package that you ship. So if you have a bunch of packages that are 24 by 16 by 12, you'd want to come in here and edit this, okay, just so you have some base rate for that. Shopify shipping, buy and print discounted shipping labels when fulfilling an order. So you can go through here. It actually lets you check your rates. If I click on that, check your rates, create shipping labels in Shopify, print test shipping label. So you can go through here and test those out. Let's scroll down. Label formats, it gives you the different label formats. You can test it on your printer. Packing slip template, so there's an actual packing slip. These are kind of like Cody. So if you get in here, it's not really pretty for you to update this. You'd actually have to throw this into a program like Dreamweaver or an HTML editor in order to see how this is going to look. So if I was to like copy this and then go over to, let's go to Dreamweaver, and then I would put all this in here. And let's see. So then it, it starts looking a certain way, right? So if that's the case, you can, make it look how you want it to look, but don't mess with it. Just leave it alone. Let's go back into here. Let's see. Okay, packing slip, and you got connect carrier account. If you have an existing account with shipping carrier, connect to your store, use your own rates. So connect carrier. So I would connect like here. Let me connect UPS. So see, it's going to start asking you stuff for like user IDs and things. So you're going to want to actually have an account with them first. To connect your account, you need your account shipper number. You may need the details, blah, 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 blah. So it's going to start going through and allow you to connect these. Okay, but you're going to need accounts with those shipping carriers. So with UPS, there's something called a developer's toolkit. With USPS, it's called Web Tools, DHL. They all have their own little system. Custom order fulfillment, an email for a custom fulfillment service that fulfills your orders for you. So add fulfillment service. So you may have a different service that is, so say for instance I have a warehouse and you're fulfilling all my orders. You can put that in here like warehouse A and then put in the email address for the person to get the email, right? To get the order email. So then you don't have to worry about putting them in and they can fulfill the orders. They would log into your store, they process your order and all that. So you're going to be doing everything yourself, so don't worry about that. Oh, shipping delivery. I didn't go over the rest of it, sorry. So if you scroll to the top here, choose how you want to ship, check out, learn about this, blah, blah. Click on manage rates. So right now I don't have any products. So I don't have anything I'm shipping. So what's happened here is there isn't anything in here. So if I put, I create my shipping zone, right? So I got the USA. Sorry, here, let me shipping zone. Let me edit this guy. So edit zone. Okay, so I've got domestic, right? I'm calling it. I'd probably just change it to USA and then just type in United States. Or you can scroll down and click whatever you got. So I'll select done. So say for instance that was going to be a shipping zone for Canada. And then I would just type in here, Canada. Or I can scroll down and select everything. There's Canada. And so I can select just certain regions in Canada I want to ship to, or I can just select all of them, right? Or I don't want to ship to Alberta and British Columbia and Manitoba. I want to just select, but just you leave them all selected. So then I select done. So now I'm going to have Canadian rates. No rates, customers in zone won't be able. So they won't be able to complete their checkout until you put rates on it. So right now I've got calculated rates, right, from USPS for the US, but I want to ship by price or I want to ship by weight. So say for instance I want to say everything from let's see here, handling fee. One, two, three. Okay, so by default, Shopify is going to do USPS discounted rates from Shopify shipping. So it has its own calculated rates and it bases it on weight. Right? So if I wanted to change this to be a different way, right? I don't want USPS managing my shipping. I want to do it by weight. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. No rates. And so now I'm going to add a rate. And now set up your own rates or use carrier app. So I'm going to set up my own rates. So I'm going to say my economy is going to be 5 to 8 business days, and at least, so you're going to select add conditions. And then you're going to base it on weight. So from 1 pound to, let's say, 5 pounds, right, is going to be $10. I'd say done. But then I need to add another one, add rate. And now I want to do standard, 3 to 4 business days. That's a little faster, right? But you can come in here and do that express and custom or no shipping time. So I can say no shipping time for this one, and I'm going to put in here the rate name. Did I add a rate name? Oh yeah, I have to add my own rate name because I didn't select economy. So if I selected economy, standard, express, or custom, I'm sorry, these right here, it would put the name there for me. So I'm putting in custom. So this is going to be my own flat rate. So I'm just going to call it flat rate, whatever. And then I'll put the price in here, and this is going to be $20. And I'm going to add my condition. So my previous condition was 1 to 10 pounds. So now I need to do 10.1 pounds. You understand? 10.1 pounds because the previous one was 10. So anything over 10 pounds, right, is going to be this $20 one now. So if you put 10 here to that, it's going to mess it up and be weird. So I'm going to go, so 10 to 15 pounds based on weight, done. So now I've got 1 to 5 pounds is $10 and 10 to 15 pounds is 20. So you can get in there and do your own. You can also do it by one, two, three. So you can see now that I have 1 to 5 pounds and 10, and so this is shipping by weight. So if I wanted to call this USA by weight or whatever, I could. You don't have to do that, but if you decided to have by weight and then you had to have, let's see, create shipping zone, do USA by price, United States. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you can only either have the carrier rates, or you can have it by weight, or you can have by price, right? So I don't want to ship by weight. I go, oh no, I want to ship by price instead. So you're going to want to come back in here, and you're going to want to delete these. Okay. So now you got no rates. You're going to go ahead and click on Add Rate, and now you're going to set up your own rates, right? And let's just go ahead and select Custom, and I'm going to call this Flat Rate. And I want to do it by weight, so I'm going to say, by price. So I'm going to say up to, you're going to click on Add Conditions, and you have by weight, and you have by price. So based on order price. So up to, say up to $50. So minimum order is 1, and then maximum price is 50. It's going to be $10. Okay, I select Done, and then the next one will be Custom Rate Name. Call it Flat Rate again, right? So you're going to want to tinker around and call whatever these you want to call these. So Add Conditions, and then by order price. Okay, so order price is 50.1, and then this will be up to 100. And I'll be $25 and select Done. I'm going to add another one, Add Rate. I'm going to go Custom, and I'm just going to call this Flat by Weight. So I can combine, call this 50. Let's call that $50. Add Conditions. So in this case, I'm going to select based on the weight, right? So if the weight of the product is, say it's 15 pounds to 60 pounds. Hit Done. So now I've got the flat rate. If it's a product price is 1 to 50, it's going to give me $10, right? So if it's the flat rate is it's $50 to $100, it'll charge $25. But if the weight, right? If the weight of these products is 15 or up to 60 pounds, it'll charge them $50. So it's going to pull in here. Like say this is only 1 to 50. The condition is $1 to 50, right? And the weight's only 8 pounds. It's going to charge them $10. So you're going to want to play around with those rates as well. Okay. Canada, I'm not going to set that up, but you can click on Add Rate, and then you can select carrier, selected rates, and then you select however you're going to ship. If you have UPS, it'll let you select all these, and you're going to still need to set up your carrier and the shipping. Okay. These are just the options for it. You don't have an account tied to it yet, so you're going to have to set up an account with these carriers first in order for this to work. Okay, so I'm going to select Cancel. I'm going to get rid of Canada. Sorry, Canada. Okay, so now if you look, it shows UPS and DHL. Shopify automatically will do it for you, calculated rates based on the rest of the world. So if you're going to ship to, Afghanistan or somewhere else, then it'll calculate those rates for you. Okay, so say for instance I'm finished. I got my by weight and my flat rate here, where I would select save. So now I'll go back from the general profile, back from shipping, and now I'm on the what? Taxes. So Shopify is pretty smart about collecting taxes from where you are. Like for instance, I'm in California. I don't have my tax ID, so it's going to charge me taxes based on where I am, right? So it's going to try to be smart enough to, here I'll put in California. See, it's not going to give me California because it's already there. So if I needed to add another state, collect sales tax, and I needed to do it in Alabama, I can say collect sales tax, and they'll let me have Alabama, and then it's going to start tracking Alabama's edit sales tax information, and you put your ID in there for Alabama. So if you sell here and you have a location in Alabama and they are charging tax, you can put your sales tax ID in there if you like. I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Okay. Shipping overrides, add shipping rows. Some set custom tax rates for shipping destinations. So say you ship to California, but it has to be a sales tax rate that is selected. So say I had Alabama and Florida and other stuff in here, and then here's an added custom tax rate for shipping. So Florida, you have to tax shipping, right? So you want to put a little percentage in there to cover that for you. You're going to have to talk to your tax professional, your accountant, or someone before you do set this up. If you set it up just generically, it is going to charge just the generic tax for that region, for that area. So when it comes around tax time, you're going to want to deal with that. Okay, product overrides, set custom tax rate for collections of products. That's pretty self-explanatory. This does have learn more about taxes. You can do that there. We'll go back. Rest of the world. Tax calculations, all prices include tax. So you can do it that way if you want. I don't recommend that. Include or exclude taxes based on customer's country. Your customer's local tax rate will be used for calculations. You can set this if you want. Charge tax on shipping rates. Not everybody does that, but you can do that if you like. Charge VAT on digital goods. That's more for like European customers and things like that. Okay, do your tax report, etc. Let's go ahead and click and go back. Now we got locations. So locations is where you ship from, right? So say for instance I had a warehouse, I had 2 other warehouses. I can select add location, and then I will put in where the warehouse is, right? And fulfill orders from this location. So if I go through and set all this up and save this and come back into locations, it's going to have 2 locations. And then when I have my products, I have the ability to select which location it'll fulfill those products from. Okay, so say for instance I have product A and my sneakers are fulfilled at the warehouse in Florida. I would go to products and click on that product, and there's a drop down that had both locations on it, and I would select the Florida location. So you can do that manually and set those up, or you can import your products and set that up as well. But that's why you want to set all this stuff up under settings first before you even get in to start tinkering around with the design. Okay, so now let's go into locations, notifications. These are all the notifications that you're going to get. So these are order confirmation, order edited, all this stuff you can look through here. If you click on order information, again, this is going to be all kinds of code in here. So it's not really, what you see is what you get. It's not that pretty. If you click on preview, gives you a little preview of how this looks, but this is kind of a pain. It's a pain to edit it. So if you go in here and you start looking at this, if you do decide to mess with this, make sure you highlight the whole thing, you copy it, and you throw it in a text editor or something. So otherwise, you're going to have to, get that code back somehow. So scroll here. There you go. So always make a backup. You've been warned. SMS also gives you the ability to, hi, this is so-and-so, thanks for your order, blah, 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 right? And you don't want that to be too long, because it is an SMS. So you can go through and do all of these. This customized does the same thing I just did here, okay? So you can scroll down, you can mess around, put whatever verbiage you want in here, shipping, all this stuff. You have control over all the text and all this fun stuff here, right? Local pickup, customers, email marketing, confirmation email. This is what they get if they have a little checkbox and they're going through the checkout and they sign up for email marketing. Again, it's just going to put a little notice next to their customer name. If I scroll down here, double opt-in, you can do that. It's just going to send them another email saying, did you opt in for this? And then they're going to click it and log back in. And I don't turn that on unless people start complaining. Shopify open tracking. So you can track all the email opens. You don't have to track them. Sometimes if you have this enabled, a lot of spam filters will actually block it because there's tracking installed. Or if the person on the receiving end has a notification in their email program that says this email contains tracking images or tracking things. They may or may not open it, or they may delete it. So optimized open tracking recommended. Choose this option to balance tracking email rates with maintaining your sender reputation. So you would just want to select that. It just makes your life a lot easier, okay? And notice how this one just saved automatically. So some pages, you're going to need to click on save at the very top, and other ones will give you a little notification pop-up that show you that that page and information has been updated. I know I talk fast, so deal with it. Scroll down some more. So now you've got these new orders, right? So if you look at this one's going to go to sales, don't send me spam. I could send a test notification. It lets me know that the test went out, and then let me open that. I have a couple screens open here, so. Let me show you how this looks. So that's how that looks. It came from order number 9999, placed by John Smith. And then here's how it's going to look to them until you put your logo on there and other fun stuff, right? Here's my bogus shipping method, and then you have the ability to put some other text in here. So it is pretty generic, the way it looks, but you can tinker around with that. So if you want it to go to other people as well, you click on Add Recipient, and then email address. I'm the only one that's in here as a user, as a staff account. So if you add other people as users, and we'll get to that in a second, or as staff accounts on the account, they'll automatically be enabled there. You can just select their name and they'll get a notification. Otherwise, you can just type in somebody else's email address in here, right? At yahoo.com, whatever. And then you go ahead and select, I'll just turn this on, here we go. Add order notification. So now what it's going to do is now it says, here's my other person. So whenever an order comes in, it's going to go to me and to this new person, right? So this is outside of that warehouse additional fulfillment, because they're not going to fulfill orders. But this may be a person you have as a virtual assistant, and maybe somebody else in your company that you want them to have order notifications, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and delete that guy. All right. Now I'm going to scroll down some more. Webhooks, you're not dealing with any of that. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Gift cards. So if you, gift cards never expire. You can set your gift cards to expire. A lot of people don't because they are cash. Apple Wallet, enable Apple Wallet passes. You can configure this if you have, this already set up. Use a custom logo. You can put your own logo on here. So when someone starts to go through, they give you recommendations on these sizes: 90 by 90, 1125 by 432. So if you don't have Photoshop and you're not using Canva, there's actually another. I'm just going to open this new window here. There is one called Photopea. And then Photopea, PEA.com, is basically an online version of Photoshop with ads, right? So here I agree and proceed. And I'm going to start seeing some ads over here. But if you go ahead, you can go ahead and open your image on Photopea. Let me just drag it in the window. So say, for instance, I had an image that I was going to, work on. It's telling me that my logo needs to be 90 pixels by 90 pixels in this case, right? So let me just open up a logo that I have. All right, so this one's square. A lot of times they may not be square. If it isn't square, right? So here's its square. I'm going to say image, right? And I'm going to go to image size, and then it wants to be 90 by 90. So you just put in 90 by 90, and then you select OK, and then there's my little small image. And then we go File, I export, and you want to export it as this one as a JPEG. It's actually small images, so I probably put it as a PNG file. So I'll export it. I'll select Save. It's going to download it to my computer. And then I can actually use that image here, choose photo, I put it on my downloads, and then it's at the very top, logo of Facebook, 3 kilobytes, it's 90 by 90, and now it's going to let me put my logo on here, okay? And then this one is use a custom banner, 1125 by 432. I'm just going to go back to this Photopea. So say, for instance, my image wasn't square, okay? So if my image is not square, and it's, I want it to be square, right? I can just go File, New, and then I would say here, 90, see how this stuff gets in your way? 90 pixels by 90 pixels, and I'll say Create, okay? So now I've got this 90 pixel by 90 pixel layer, right, and it's locked over here. So you can double click on this and select OK, it should unlock it. Let me see. Yeah, it's not going to unlock it. Okay, so we'll just add a new layer on top of that. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the how-to products. I'm going to go ahead and close this one. I'm going to open up one that is weird long. So this one is long. So that's 1,000 by 500 pixels. So that one's pretty big, but notice how it's wide and everything. If I was to just copy that right now and to paste it on this other thing, it's going to be huge. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that the width is the same as the 90 by 90, right? So I go to image, let's go to image size, and I'll change that to 90, and then select OK. So now I got this super tiny image, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go to edit, select all. I think it's edit, select all. Let me see. I'm so used to doing copy. Let's just do copy. And then we'll go over to the other new project, which is the 90 by 90. And then we'll go edit. Let's see if it lets me paste it. Paste. There we go. So it lets me paste it. And you can click and drag this down so it's centered. So now I've got this thing on a white background, right? And it's 90 by 90. So now I can export this and use this image, right, for my logo. So that's how you put it on that background. And then the same thing with that other file. So it's requesting that it be a 1125 by 432. I would just go File and then go New, 1125 by 432, and then select Create. Now it gives me this image, so then I can put whatever I want in here for the banner. So if I wanted to design something and paste some stuff on here, let me copy that logo. It's going to be really small, but there, that's going to look really bad. But see, you can't go small to big. It looks really, really bad. You can go big to small. So if I go ahead and open up my other image, which is pretty big, this one, and then I copy that. I'm using quick keys, so I apologize. Here, I go copy. And then I go into new project, which is this guy, go edit, paste. And now I can have this huge image banner, right? So now I got one that is going to be per their recommendation, right? So export as, I'm just going to do JPEG, what the hell, 1125, 432, save it. So now I'll have that ability to put that guy here, use custom banner, choose the file, and now I've got one that is 1125 by 432. I'm sure it would complain if it was not the correct size, but if I save that, so see how I put my banner up there? Pretty cool, right? So I'm not going to enable this, I just did that to show you how it works, okay? I'm going to go ahead and select save just because I made some changes on there and it's being goofy. And we'll go back. Okay, so files. Files is where everything gets uploaded. So if you upload a product image or anything else, all that stuff gets put in here. But say you need to put an image on your website or on Shopify that, or a PDF file or something that you're trying to link to, you would actually upload the file here and then just go and find your product. So say I wanted to link to that Facebook image. And then give it a second. Like I said, it's going to take a second to upload. Sorry. Okay, so now it's uploaded. So now I can click on this link. And then if I'll just show you this window again, change that to the link. So that's the actual direct link to this image. And there's my how-to products, okay? So you can use this thing, pretty cool, the settings back there, and you can upload your own files and other things. You can also upload other scripts and stuff like that you want to use. Sales channels. So right now your online store is called a sales channel, and that's where you sell things. Other sales channels are Facebook, Instagram, Google Shopping, and other sites and things like that. So we're not going to get into sales channels right now, but you can click on sales channels. And if you wanted to add another one, you can click on add sales channel, and then it pops up point of sale, eBay, buy button, Google, Facebook, Pinterest. Now each of these has something that you have to configure, right? So we have a video on, this is Google Merch right here. So if you search our channel and you look for how to set up Google Merchant Center, you'll see this. You can add this sales channel, and then it's going to add it over here. See how it says Google? Let it go to the cloud. It's going to install it. It's going to say you're about to install Google, update sales channel. Okay, so now I've added the sales channel. And so I'm going to connect the Google account. I'm not going to do that now because I'm connected under another account. But you would have your Google account open that you want to use. You'd select connect, and then you would just follow the video that I have that's also on our video on our channel called how to connect Google Merchant to Shopify. You also have the ability to put the Facebook channel on here. Facebook is connected to Instagram shopping as well, so it's a 1-2 punch there. So you click on Facebook, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to go ahead and scroll down here. Remember, you have to have Facebook page. You have to have your business account set up. You have to have e-commerce plan, all that fun stuff. There's also another video we created on our channel that shows you how to hook up this new Facebook as well. So you have to have things done on Facebook first before you proceed and start going through and hooking this up. It's just not going to start working out of the box for you. Okay, so if you click Start Setup, you'll start going through a process in order to connect that. But you can follow the other video that we created for this, and it'll make your life a lot easier. Okay. So now, say for instance, I hooked all of these up. Now all these sales channels will be available for a product when I add it. So I'm just going to skip over real quick and just show you something. So I'm going to go to Products. I'm going to add a product, just a generic product. I'm going to call it Test. The only reason I'm doing this is to show you here. See, now you have these sales channels. So online store, Live and Lavisha logo, that's me. Google, and then Facebook. And so it's saying that if I add this product and these sales channels are hooked up correctly, as soon as I turn this guy to active, it's going to start syncing, and it's going to connect and put it on my Google Merchant for me, and it's also going to put it on to Facebook for me. Okay, and I have to have all this stuff set up, the name, the description. I'm going to have to put a couple images in here. I definitely have to fill out the product type, the vendor, right? So product type is, t-shirt, or it's a tin can, or whatever the hell you want to call it. The vendor could be you, but you also probably want to put it in the vendor. You put in your price, your compare price, charge tax on here if you want. You put your SKU in here. Facebook and Google really, they complain about this if you don't put anything in here. So if you can, and do you have a UPC or a GTIN, if you have a SKU, it is different than your barcode that is on the product. You may have a product. You can track the quantity, you don't have to. You continue selling, you put your quantity in. Shipping, that's where you put in your how much it weighs, and then your regions and stuff. We'll cover this in a little bit. I just wanted to give you a quick overview, organization, collections, etc. So I'm going to discard this. I'm not going to make this active yet. I just wanted to show you where those sales channels were. Okay, so now let's go back into Settings. Again, get all these spam messages. Next one is Plan. So the current plan is Development. So once you're ready, you click on Plan, change plan, and then you'll end up paying for that. We're not going to do that. Users and permissions. This is what I was talking about earlier in the video. And then right now I've got 0 of 15 allowed. That's because I'm underneath the developer account, right? So once I switch over to the basic Shopify plan, it only has a couple, it only has 2 or 3, I believe, staff accounts. And then collaborators, this is like if someone like me, like a developer, is working on your site, you can give them collaborator access without affecting your staff accounts. But you can read about this stuff by clicking on these little links, these little how-tos and compare plans and all this fun stuff. So I'm not going to do that. If I was going to add another staff account, say for instance I click Add Staff, and I wanted to have a virtual assistant, working on my website, I want to call it VA and an assistant, and I'll call it assistant at AOL.com. That does not exist. Please do not email that. So I can select all, but then that gives that assistant access to everything. I don't want them having access to everything. I don't want them to be able to edit their own permissions. I don't want them to look at the payouts or the billing or the private apps, right? I don't want them to manage my locations. I don't want them to click in the settings and edit anything else in there, right? I only want them to work on the products pages, and then maybe the discounts to make discounts. I don't want them working on domains. I don't want them changing the navigation. I probably want to enable and let them work on the blog posts. I don't want them customizing my store, right? They can look at the orders if they want. If I have them processing orders, draft orders, they can add or edit products. The gift cards, they can add or edit products. They can look at the customers and edit the customers. You may or may not need that, but I would turn that off just for your own safety. Reports, they don't need to see that if it's a virtual assistant. Dashboards, marketing, you turn that off. And then I'd probably apps and channels. They don't need access to any of the apps, or any of the sales channels. So I would click that and then select Send Invite, and that's going to send an email to this person. They're going to accept it, make it a password for themselves, and then when they get to this page, a lot of this stuff will be ghosted out or grayed out, and they won't be able to click on it. So they'll only be able to click on orders and products and some other things that are on here. Okay, so that's the way you control the permissions and add a staff person. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I'm not going to add that person. Okay, so we're going to hit go back one more time. So now we've got user plans. We're almost there. Store languages, this is where it's in English. You have changed theme language. If you do this, it's not a simple copy and paste. You select the language here, you select save, but then you need to go in and do some customizations. I am not going to change that right now. What this ended up doing in this settings, and the way that I get here, I can either go back to settings, and then I can click on store languages, or I can go to online store, and I click on actions, actions, and then edit languages. So now that I've edited the languages, it's going to take me to that same exact spot. So say for instance I wanted to edit, so general, skip content, close, choosing selection. You can go through here and it has all the words and everything that are basically all throughout your site. But say I'm on the cart page, and I wanted to change your cart to your bag, right? Bag, and select save, it's going to change the title of my cart to my bag. And I'll show you here. Let's go here, preview it, let's go to the cart, and there's my bag. See that? Your bag. So it's pretty cool. You could change some of this stuff without having to get into the code. Okay, so that's how you go through and you change stuff on the collection pages, the product pages here too. A lot of people like to change add to cart to add to bag and stuff like that. So if you don't want to scroll through here, you could also do a find and then say, you know, sold out. And then notice it shows me 2. So there's 2 here. I don't want it to say sold out. I want to say gone forever or whatever. You can change it there. Then whenever you make these changes, make sure you select save. Lastly, you have these 3 buttons that are hidden, so there's other stuff here too. So there's checkout and system, sections, gift card, store availability. Checkout and system, this is for when people get to the checkout page. So this is the only thing that you can edit on a Shopify plan that is not a Shopify Plus plans, meaning that you can't control what the final checkout page looks like on any of the plans other than Shopify Plus. And they do that on purpose so they can control how it looks and how the security is and everything, right? So you've got other little things in here that you could change, just some wording, but it's nothing substantial. You can't change the look and feel, you can't do any of that. You can just change some of the text on the checkout page. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. Am I on the settings page? Let's see. No, so let me go to settings. Billing, I don't have any billing set up, so it's not going to charge me anything, but that would be actually your, add a payment method for purchases. Once you sign up for a plan, you'll put your credit card in, and then it'll have all your information in here. Okay, so I'm going to go to legal. This information here, what this does is I select create from template, creates a 30-day, copy this into like a Word document and then edit it how you want, okay? Same thing here, privacy policy, create from template. These are just guidelines, and you're going to notice there's a bunch of stuff in here. It says add any other. This is where they're recommending that you put your own content in. So don't just copy and paste this onto a page. When this is created, so I'm going to go ahead and do terms of service, and then shipping policy. They don't have a template for the shipping policy. So it's only for, you have to create your own shipping policy. So you can search online for, you don't refund, or however you want to put it on there, right? So you put your shipping policy is 7 to 10 business days. We ship UPS, blah 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 blah. When you put all this stuff in here, all this does is this is for the emails and the links and the things that people are going to click on to read this information. It's not actually on a site on your page. So if you make those, there's no page for it. Like there's no page on your site for privacy or shipping policies, right? So what you'd have to do is you'd have to create a page inside Shopify. So say for instance, I wanted to have a privacy policy. I would copy all this. Once it's edited and you change all this stuff, and then I'd go to online store, I'd go to pages. I don't have anything in here yet. Oops, sorry, pages. I click add page. I want to call it privacy, right? And then I'll just paste everything in here. And I can leave the default page, whatever. So there's all my privacy stuff. Obviously, I don't want to leave that in there like that. But this is how you do it. You select save. And so now you have a page inside Shopify. Now you still don't have it available on your website though, okay? So we still need to add it to a navigation. It needs to be added to the top navigation, or it needs to be added to the footer navigation, in this case, quick links. So if I go back in here and I want to add this to my top navigation, I go to navigation, and it's controlled by main menu. And see how main menu, add menu item. And now you just type in privacy, P-R-I-V-A, and it's going to start looking for a page, 2 results. And it's not found anything for me yet because it's, like I said, there's that caching thing, right? So I click on privacy policy, I'll click on add, I'll click on save. So I put it in the main menu, which is the header, right? I click here and go back, you'll see that this is my footer menu. It just says search on there. So right now, main menu. So if I go ahead and look at this again, I'll scroll up and I'll refresh, and now I'll have privacy. I'll have privacy eventually. Let's close that. Make me look like an idiot. So we gotta wait for Shopify's caching system. There it is. So privacy policy shows up. So now privacy policy shows up in the header. Obviously I don't want it there, but that's how you would add it to that particular menu. Okay. Okay. So now let's go on to the last one here, settings, and then that's legal, and then meta fields. They just added this to the system. Leave it alone, don't touch it. It's something they're still tinkering around with. If you want to learn about meta fields, you can go ahead and select that, and you can edit those meta fields. You can look look on the community how to use those. We're not going to talk about that in this tutorial. Thank you for watching part 1 of the Shopify debut theme introduction. Proceed to part 2. Let the video load. It should load part 2 for you, or you can go to videos and click on the part 2 in this series, where I show you how to actually customize the theme through the editor and go through the rest of the pages for setting those up. Thank you, and please don't forget to subscribe and like and comment if you like. And don't forget to sign up for a free Shopify trial, 14 days. Thank you.